finally a Star Trek related stream.
We are so.
For now to be later, and I seem to be resuming the indie stuff for produced video. So,
Yay! Don't even say the name when I'm here. Fucking hell.
Just a quick, but finally got something that's actually worth discussing here. So let's drag this up here.
You eat penis.
Where are you? There we are. Like someone thought we could. Oh, here's 4 guys who can play Spock in the next movie. It's like, where are you?
Why do we need a next movie? Can we just? Why do we need a next movie? Can we not let things die in peace?
It's like, I think Timothy Chalamet is getting enough work. Thank you very much. And these other stooges, what the hell?
Who gives an unholy fuck?
It's like, I don't care what they were before. How about, let's just consider the original series done.
Yeah.
Total record. You got the 3 seasons. You got the animated series. And if you listen to Rod Roddenberry, Star Trek continues. Because he's the opinion that his dad would consider that continues canon. Because they followed that closely and showed that much of, thing. So, and then from there, you got the movies. That's it. They need to follow the example of Roddenberry when it came to, they're going to do another Star Trek series, whether he was there or not in the mid-'80s. And what they had in mind was the thing of, putting cadets on the Enterprise, getting into trouble and all kinds of hijinks. And he said, look, I can do better than that now. And they called his bluff. Would you please? It's like, oh shit, I'm going back to work, aren't I?
Oh.
So what did he do? Did he recast? No. He said it about 100 years in the future with a new ship, new crew. It needs to leave the past alone. Revisit from time to time to remind you where you came from, but everything, that's part of the thing of the difference between really the good new Trek and the horrible bad Trek. The good news stuff amounts to, again, this is up to debate here, but as far as just the approach to the premise, let's go that one. Lower Decks, because they went somewhere, but they were still, after the movies, it was moving forward from that point. You're just taking a different angle at it. You're no longer on the flagship, you're on the backup guys. Where you occasionally encounter these people on the frontline ships. Riker showed up a few times, in Troy. You saw the Titan. And then you got Prodigy. Again, it's after the movies. You're starting with the lost ship in the Delta Quadrant. These guys find it. They're moving the story forward. And third season of Picard. They're, again, those movies, you get them and wrapping up that one. Like I said, giving them the finale they kind of earned and were cheated of with the way they went back on all good things. Whereas Discovery, horrible, totally, mucked up everything. Strange New Worlds, it's only in that it's better than Discovery. Otherwise, they're still mucking things up for no good reason. First seasons of Picard, total train wreck from start to finish. And then, of course, the J.J. Trek movies, again, tried to just muck things up for no good reason. Because they can't move forward. They don't know how to move forward. Everything's a freaking rehash because they have no imaginations of their own.
Well, creativity is all but dead. I've been pointing that out for quite a while. Hollywood and this whole community culture we have currently, there's nothing good. There's nothing new. There's nothing fresh. It's just, what can we bastardize and steal and drive into the ground to make a few bucks off of its carcass?
I mean, the crash and burning of Snow White apparently has had the effect of they were going to do a live-action version of Rapunzel.
Oh, dear God.
That one has been put on hold now since, I used to kind of joke. I think when they finally get to doing a remake of Snow White, it's like, I think that's going to be peak insanity right there. It's like, well, they hit it. They took the film that built the fucking studio in the first place and made a total hash of it, and they're paying the price for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little cold in here right now.
I noticed that. Yeah.
But I love this blanket. It's got tiger faces and it's also silky and soft.
Yeah.
Wow. You eat penis.
I think the kids say, oh, we could get that place. How about nobody plays Spock anymore, huh? Nobody play Kirk anymore. Nobody do these characters anymore. They're done. Okay? We have seen their stories. We don't need to see a different version of their stories. Okay? Or somebody else's idea of what the Enterprise looked like. No. There's nothing wrong with the ship in the first place.
Are you kidding? It was fucking glorious.
I know. And people, oh, it's so sick. There's nothing 60s about that design, okay? Yeah.
I will say it's kind of like you took some of the sleek car styles of the swinging 20s when they were first starting to work on vehicles, and you combined it with some of the 60s, and you blended in some of their futuristic designs that they were shooting for to make in the 80s and 90s. And that's kind of what you got. It's not straight 60s. Does it have some things that are inspired by the era it came from? Sure, but it's not 60s.
It's like if they got in Harley Earl to design the Enterprise. It's like, give me a couple things there and then go for it. And that's what it looks like. Yeah.
It's like, because I could sit there and tear down the whole thing and explain the different curves and shapes and angles and where each section came from, the inspiration of which decade. And sure, are there some things on it you can say have some 60s inspiration? Oh, a bit, yeah, because it was fucking made in the 60s. It's going to have elements of it remaining. But it's not a 60s ship by any fucking imagination unless they got their head so far up their ass they can't see what's in fucking front of their fucking face.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. What are we talking about?
The Enterprise and how it's like, enough with the remakes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And then trying to basically just say, oh, it's just a 60s ship. It's like, no, it's not.
No, not really.
No, the JJ looks like the 60s ship. Oh,
Gene Roddenberry said, was it Gene Roddenberry or who said it? No fins. No tail fins.
It was Roddenberry's orders to Matt Jeffries. He didn't know what the ship was going to be. He said, no fins, no flames. And, that's how, he didn't.
Like I said, if anything, you look at the Enterprise and you've got more of the classic cars from like when they were first starting to really build them during the swinging 20s through the 40s. Then you have
here we are
60s.
This is why I have these things in hand, So you can bring in a little bit. This is straight line utilitarian battleship gray block letters. The closest thing to 60s is when you got the swirly lights and then the cells. But even that's just that's Christmas lights. Yeah.
They wanted it to be. They wanted it to be not tied to any specific era. Really,
they took inspiration from all these designs from decades before. They took inspiration from all of these futuristic concepts that were being portrayed from what was expected in the next several decades, and blended it with some just pure sci-fi BS that didn't match any of those.
Yeah, and they also wanted.
It's more like what JJ did. When Jeffries was going, he took all the Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon stuff and other things that we will not do.
No. They also wanted
fans, no V2 rockets, no flying saucers.
Okay, Bob, speaking.
No.
Okay.
They also wanted to make it look military in nature.
Yeah. And it helped the fact that about everyone in that writing staff at some point had served in the military. Roddenberry flew B-17s in the Pacific. Jeffries, I think he was a flight engineer on B-17s in Europe. But when they first met, they kind of spent the first 20 minutes reliving the war.
I grew up in the Black Hills. I grew up with a fascination with planes and warships and submarines anyways.
Yeah.
But I also grew up in the fucking Black Hills. I grew up surrounded by classic car shows and motorcycles. I can tell people exactly which elements of each ship was taken from which things that were used in which vehicles in which fucking era.
Oh, Daniel.
And it's not a 60s ship. There are a few curves and points on it that are taken from 60s cars and styles. A few, not many.
Who's the one saying it's a 60s ship? Is it JJ? Jughead?
It's the usual idiots. It's like, oh, you can't do it. It's from the 60s. So fucking what? This is all straight lines. This was like built by the Air Force in the 40s. if anything. You know,
Mm.
that kind of aesthetic. You know,
Yeah.
That's what I said.
like a Navy battleship. You know?
Very Spartan kind of
Yeah.
conditions inside. Very
Mhm.
everything
Point
is
Yeah.
of the
utilitarian.
ship was to show the different stages of technology that led up to the hopeful search and exploration in the stars,
Mhm.
and then add that futuristic technology to it. It was designed to not easily match any era. What the
Yeah.
fuck do you think they're talking about?
It's just this because when they say, "Oh, the cardboard sets," those were not cardboard sets. And I guarantee you, the set of the Discovery Bridge has just as much plywood involved as the original series bridge.
It's all plywood. It's all
Yeah.
plywood. You start you
So you paint it right and you lighter and make it look like stainless steel. No, it's just as plywood as the original stuff.
a neighbor of mine who was an art teacher
Mm-hmm.
said to me that because I asked her, she did a
You
painting one
penis.
time. This is a this is a painting on a
Mhm.
on a piece of plywood,
Mm-hmm.
and it was remarkable. It looked there was metallic surfaces that she painted,
Yeah.
and it looked reflective. I asked her, he goes,
Mhm.
"How did you do that?" He goes, "Take a look at everything around you. Everything has a color."
Mhm.
Even if it's a reflective, a mirrored surface, it still has a color. No, he's yelling at Steph.
Of course he is. Anyway, so it's like
Mm.
anybody who understands cars
Mhm.
and vehicles and how they're
Mhm.
designed, anyone who understands military vehicles, anybody who's actually fucking studied half this shit
Mm-hmm.
knows that these people are full of shit. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. I remember reading about him when they were doing some kind of Q&A at a theater of design Star Trek design through the years. You had Herman Zimmerman there, you had Joe Jennings, a couple other guys, and this guy who worked on the JJ movie. Previously, he'd made us all look like a couple of cardboard boxes shoved together. At this thing, he didn't say a fucking word because everyone else is going on to Herb Zimmerman. He was working at NBC at the time. I think he was working for Days of Our Lives. But he would see this because they had to send the set designs to NBC to get approved. He'd see this stuff come in. So he's been a fan of this stuff since the beginning. You know, when it was actually on there, it's like, oh yeah, he made note of it. So he was able to talk on that respect. And then Joe Jennings had some involvement with it. They're all talking of the stuff, when they're being built and what went into it, why the consoles were laid out the way they were. So this guy couldn't say shit. Especially the shit he'd already been spewing already.
Everybody, I remember when I saw the first previews, not the trailer for the final season of STD, but the previews, and I always love this about Star Trek was that when it was still good, everything made sense. Everything. Oh, what do the nacelles do? They create an electrical field that opens up a rift in subspace, and the ship travels through it. Oh, what does the saucer say? Oh, what does this do? What does that do? What does this? Even GN DN goes nowhere, does nothing. Even though, but that was a little joke. But But I mean, everything made sense, and I just kind of just put my did a face palm when Mikey Spock was on the back of the ship riding it like a surfboard at warp. I'm like, she would have been incinerated in the first within a nanosecond by the radiation. The people who are the ones that buy into the nonsense are the ones that are trying to tell you that, oh well, this is that you're mistaken. I'm like, no.
But you also notice a lot of the people, and this will go semi-political, but skirt the line, that a lot of the people who sit there and tell you that you just don't like it or this or that, or this makes sense. These are the same people who tell you to trust science, but the stuff they're promoting as their entertainment is the most unscientific shit I've ever seen.
Sonar in space.
Yeah. And just the way that, like I said, that's why I got this model of the JJ Press. I still got to do some serious surgery on it because some of the parts for another model. Work with what I got here, but I'm making a cruise ship. It's like this is not a serious starship. As the latest edition of Princess Cruises, I can make that work.
Mr. Data, set course.
For romance.
For romance.
These are the voyages of the Pacific Princess. Hungry mission. The Love Boat. Yeah.
Oh God, Bob, that was very tone deaf.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of the point.
Yeah, well, I have eardrums. Sorry, my
oh,
out when he gets deaf.
Don't worry.
Well, I'm not.
Oh, for crying out loud! Star Trekking.
Oh, look what I found.
Add a little moment to this before we go back to more Trek shit again. Mm-hmm. I did go see Luke Monday night.
Marked down $11 at Walmart.
Awesome.
Okay, all right.
And because the show was in downtown Chicago, by the time the show got started, I was extremely ticky.
Okay.
There were moments like when the room was silent and he was taking a drink and I've suddenly very loudly ticked that my boobs are huge. He almost choked on his drink.
Those are him. Thank you. Real
boobs are huge.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, they indeed are."
Well, yeah.
Well, more his reaction was, "Tick or not, the arrogance that goes in that comment." Like, fuck. And I'm sitting there biting my tongue trying to tick, but it's true, but it's true, you know. There's like one point he's telling this story about literally accidentally throwing a ball into the face of a kid with Down syndrome at a park.
Oh God.
And he's sitting there going, no, let's justify a little bit of this in your head. When you see a random stranger you don't know get hit in the face with a ball, what's your natural reaction? And all of a sudden I very loudly laugh at the fucker. And he's laughing and cheering and going, yeah, come here. Fuck's sakes. That's exactly it. You laugh at the fuckers.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was a good show, but holy shit, I was ticky, and God, did he seem to have fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean, for the first few minutes, he's talking to other people and everything's going, wow, fine. And I'm ticking so much, eventually just turns, looks over at me, Tourette's, right? And goes back to what he was doing, and it's like, fuck. That response was just so casual.
Oh God.
That like cut through. It's like, oh God. It was such a casual response, you know? I was like, oh, okay. He's like, you can keep saying fuck you to me all you need. Go for it.
Go for it. I saw the
there was a moment he was asking this guy, and what do you do for a living? And the moment that he asked the guy that, I started ticking fuck all. First of all. And second of all, right after I tick fuck all, the guy goes, nothing, I'm retired. I start ticking, I was right.
I was right.
And I'm sitting there going, good God. And he did catch penis juice.
Okay.
Which, as he said, what has to be one of the most disgusting ways to describe cum I've ever heard.
Oh, jeez.
Followed by, hey, can I use that?
Go right ahead.
Like, fuck. When you get out of the show and he asks you if you mind if you can use the footage and you go, I don't care. And he responds by hugging you. That's an interesting sign.
Oh yeah. After I've gotten off stage a few times, what I usually do if I'm making fun of somebody, I usually go up to them and say, hey, listen, thanks for being a good sport. Because I don't want to seem like a dick, you know.
Well, he was actually really nice about the.
But yeah,
again, look at his history with dealing with people with it.
But I don't doubt it, but but just for me, I'd like to not come across as mean. Except for that one bitch who said I hated women. I don't hate all women, just one, and I'm looking at her. Oh God.
Any others reach that list since then?
I'm working on it.
Ow.
Listen. Ow.
High Price is right, Daniel, by the way. So yay! I had a very, very ticky day, and like I've been completely relearning how to communicate since I quit trying to suppress the ticks because it's kind of changed the way my brain behaves. but it has gotten rid of most of my headaches.
Oh, that's good. Just the tension.
I think some combination therein, the tension, the stress, everything else. I think because suppressing has such an effect on your neurological center in your body. Because most of my pain, my headaches, and my muscle pain have gone down significantly since I stopped suppressing tics. So that's like.
Okay. We
it is what it is.
Prices Reviews intro there.
I said hi to him. I'm not responding to the other part.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just giving him a little fill-in of what was going on Monday night.
Yeah. It kind of kicked the whole thing off with article from Richards always there about 4 actors who could play Spock in Star Trek 4.
Please, I don't want anybody to play Spock.
Here's an idea. How about not doing another JJ Trek movie and another of the fucking reboots?
They're still on that. They're still on the whole Star Trek 4 JJ train.
That's the theory, but I think the longer it's going on, it's like everyone's kind of aging out. I mean, Zoe Saldana still looks okay, but she's not quite the ingenue she was anymore.
Yes, I don't want anybody to be playing.
She now has an Oscar.
I don't want anybody.
Makes her more expensive.
That's right. I never got an Oscar, which is why they kept me coming back. You know that, don't you? Yes. Besides, who could be as handsome as I am? Look at his face.
I cringe every time you do that voice, right?
Let me tell you, there was a reason why I was on 5 Twilight Zones.
I am going to roll my eyes all the way back into my head and see if I can find my fucking brain.
Oh, that's
made
even
me
better
decide
picture
to stream with you guys. Why did
Kirk always had his shirt torn?
Oh, duh. That was like his thing.
That was somebody's thing. They made him shave his chest every time, and he hated it because it grow back and itch as hell.
That's right. It was itchy. Itchy as hell. That's right. Oh, boy.
Kevin Pollak had a thing about how to do a proper Shatner.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he...
It's like, you take the main theme of what you're talking about.
Take the main theme.
The emphasis of what's going on, and the rest of it just sort of rattle it off. Because you're trying to make up for effects that really aren't going to match up in the end.
I've given you back all the reasons why a war shouldn't be fought. Disease, homelessness, poverty, death. If I were you, I'd start making bombs.
Sounds like a good time.
Yes, bomb.
No, in fact, there was an exercise they did, when I was up at KGNU, and they brought in kind of a vocal coach type thing of the exercise. And one of them is reading this passage where every word is would, either wood as in tree or wood as in would or would not. And how to read this out loud where you still get some emphasis of what you're talking about. It's not just wood. And I cited Shatner's like, the master of how to do this sort of thing. Wood. Wood. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's like there's stuff. Something's going on here. Okay,
Wood.
Yeah.
Wow.
I need to find that. I'm pretty sure I still have it somewhere.
Oh, brother, where are the kitties?
I'm not sorry.
No, you sure aren't. Kitties. There he is. Kitty.
Baby girl.
Kitty.
Girl.
We're just going to take the thing. It's like, original series is done. We got the 3 seasons.
I
animated. And if you take Rod Roddenberry's word for it, you got Star Trek Continues, because he's the opinion that Gene would consider Star Trek Continues canon.
They're obsessed with trying to,
and that's it. Okay,
they're
done.
obsessed with trying to fill in the gaps in the original series, Mike. And I don't want those gaps filled.
No.
Oh, this person gave Spock his heart. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to see him give Spock his Klingon harp.
I'm pretty sure he didn't have to get it from a non-Vulcan. Okay.
Especially a couple episodes before he already had it in his quarters.
Yeah. Idiotic to begin.
There was an article I saw on Screen Rant about Dr. Mbenga, and and that it still rubs me the wrong way that on Strange New Worlds he killed an ambassador. He killed a Klingon ambassador, and he just got away with it.
Yeah.
He just got it. I mean, no speech about right and wrong, nothing about being judge, jury, and executioner. Nothing about trying to build relations with the
guys.
Militaristic culture. Oh, kitty. If that were Picard, he would have reprimanded him 8 ways to Sunday.
Hell, would have been Archer. Anybody.
Kirk, even. Anybody would have. But the speech Picard would have given would have been glorious.
Yeah.
I don't care what your motivations are. You do not murder a Klingon ambassador in cold blood, not on my ship. We are here to uphold the reputation of Starfleet, not for you to act as judge, jury, executioner, not on my ship.
Just think the way he ripped open Worf. For killing Duras.
Like I said,
it's like looking for you, the Klingon Grand Grease. I do not. We have how many representatives on this? Everyone.
You are unfit to wear that uniform.
Oh God, we went up to Wesley.
Oh yeah, you are unfit.
I'm gonna make this very simple for you, cadet. Either you tell me what happened, or I will.
I always say that's always the biggest problem with JJ Track and with this Akiva Goldsman track, and like has
no fucking clue how the military operates. Yeah.
No clue the military operates, but nobody has any sense of duty or any sense of loyalty or any sense of honor. Nobody joined Starfleet because they believed in the mission or that they wanted to go exploring or to better themselves. Everybody joined because of some sort of self-serving trauma. I hate self. Is that? I don't know if that's the.
That's about. Everyone's got some. They're even lower decks has a better thing. Everyone is there. Even Michael Burnham is there. No, not Michael Burnham. Beckett Mariner.
BM, I call her. Bowel movement.
Even Beckett Mariner is there because she believes in the mission of Starfleet.
She doesn't necessarily like.
She's got a fucked up way of doing it, but she's there because they're all super fans of Starfleet. That's why. Hell,
there's the thing. It's okay to have trauma as part of the backstory that leads them to do things, as long as they're honorable in it. It's like, look at the backstories they created for Worf when they went into his family and his background, and the kid that died playing sports with him and had to learn to be military and all this shit. But it all bred to him wanting to be better than that and help the missions and bring people together for honor and all this other stuff. He used it to be self-sacrificing, not self-serving.
He still wasn't exactly traumatized by it. He was a Klingon. He got, okay, this is...
No, he was traumatized by that kid dying in that episode. That was on the Rigel episode when he opened up to Jadzia. Because he accidentally killed a classmate in sports.
Well, traumatized doesn't work, but with a Klingon, traumatized is a different thing.
He
regretted it, but I don't think it was really traumatized. Because
that was trauma the way they played it, because it showed great stress to him. It made him change everything about him, and you could still see he was carrying it with such remorse and pain. That's where it was trauma, not that because he understood it, but that's where he learned that he couldn't just be himself fully around people.
Around humans.
But what was the
Because it kind of goes the whole thing, when
the episode where they covered
Klingons don't laugh. Oh, Klingons do laugh. I heard Klingon belly has to curl your hair.
Oh yeah,
you don't laugh.
What was the episode where they covered up the kids? The graduation. Wasn't that called that graduation? Where they covered up the maneuver they were supposed to do?
First duty. Like that. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
The first duty of hell, I'll call it the line.
First duty is to the truth.
Give me a minute here.
I refuse to answer. You refuse to answer.
Here we go. Handy dandy. Check out the transcript transcripts. Let's see. What season was that?
That was season 4.
First Duty. Season 5. First Duty.
Oh, 5.
Yeah. Where they Nova Squadron. They wanted
Nova Squadron. Yeah.
They're going to do something special, even though it was completely against the rules.
Because it was so dangerous. Yeah. A Culvert Starburst. Yeah, and there was the other one, the Pegasus, about the about
which they kind of screwed up when
there wasn't a cloaking device. It was a phased cloaking device that they were protecting. And Picard's, I had to pull in a lot of favors just to get a look at this report.
Yeah.
That was another one. I'm like, again, Riker had an incident in his past he wasn't happy about, but he didn't. Yeah. That wasn't his motivation.
Yeah.
To join Starfleet, he was already in Starfleet. But
and they should have. Again, one more so many of these things on, like with Voyager and also especially one more rewrite.
Yeah.
Just like, no, don't put it in the Pegasus. Put it when he's arguing about whether or not to take command of the Titan. That fits. That accounts for everyone being older, and they don't have a problem there. But they've tried to squeeze it in an episode where there was no time for this. We saw the episode. There's no hours on end where Riker's dropping off to the holodeck. You're just messing things up for no good reason. The rest of it you can chalk up as a badly written holodeck program. You got all the details wrong. The rest of the thing, no, you can't. But I found the thing with we're in the ready room, and Wesley comes in, Captain. And can you tell me what this maneuver is? Shows him the pad where the 5 ships are cross other things. It's a Culvert Starburst, sir. 5 ships crossing within 10 meters of each other and igniting their plasma trails. One of the most spectacular and difficult demonstrations of precision flying. It hasn't been performed at the Academy by an Academy team in over 100 years. Do you know why? It was banned by the Academy following a training accident, sir. An accident which all 5 cadets lost their lives. I think Nicholas Locarno wanted to end his Academy career in a blaze of glory. That he convinced the 4 of you to learn the Culvert Starburst for the commencement demonstration. If it worked, it would thrill the assembled guests, and Locarno would graduate as a living legend. Only it didn't work. And Joshua Albert paid the price. Am I correct?
I refuse to answer, sir.
Cadet, I asked you a question. Am I correct? I'd answer. You choose not to answer, but you've already given an answer to the inquiry, and that answer was a lie. I said the accident occurred after the loop. It did. What you neglected to mention was that following the loop, Eugene attempted a maneuver that was the direct cause of the crash. You told the truth up to a point, but a lie of omission is still a lie. Remember the day you first came aboard this ship? Your mother brought you to the bridge. Yes, you even sat in my chair. I was annoyed. Presumptuous child playing on my ship. But I never forgot how you already knew every control, every display. You behaved as though you belonged on the bridge. And then later, when I decided to make you an acting ensign, I was convinced you could be an outstanding officer. I never questioned that conviction until now. The first duty of every Starfleet officer is to the truth, whether it's scientific truth or historical truth or personal truth. It is the guiding principle upon which Starfleet is based. If you can't find it within yourself to stand up and tell the truth about what happened, you don't deserve to wear that uniform. I'm going to make it very simple for you, Mr. Crusher. Either you come forward and tell Admiral Brand what really took place, or I will. Captain, dismissed.
That is, I think they were getting a lot of mail about how Wesley Crusher was just a, unlikable kind of stiff.
Well,
and they had
first season they were getting the little thing of Wesley saves the day, and even Will Wheaton was getting sick of that. Okay,
yeah.
It's like, hey, come on, don't you? Somebody else.
I was gonna say, and to be fair, Wheaton was not the reason, but he got a lot of the hate for it.
No, he did, yeah.
And as much as people like to bash on him, he's less of an asshole than most of that cast.
Yeah.
And one thing you got to give him credit for, he really is a stand-up father and actually trying to bring friends together of different viewpoints.
And note how the
doesn't mean I agree with him on everything, but he's actually a lot more rational than a lot of that cast.
But also note how first episode out of the block in the second season, he almost destroys the ship.
It's also, bear in mind, he was part of the whole group that went through all that trauma in Hollywood in that time. He was one of the boys from that set.
River Phoenix.
And he's been through a lot of shit anyways.
Yeah.
And then he's thrown into this show, and a lot of the adults treated him like shit because they didn't want just some kid there as a token.
Yeah.
And so he came into this show, an already traumatized young boy, and they're treating him like dog meat. I don't necessarily blame him for being a bit of an asshole at that time. Do you?
The only one who treated him good was Roddenberry.
And
don't treat him like he belonged there. Yeah. Don't
get me wrong on that.
Yeah.
He was an asshole at times. He was an absolute asshole at times. He himself admitted it. But at least he admits it, unlike, Sirtis and the others.
Yeah.
They'll sit there and go, yeah, I was an asshole.
No, there's some dispute, I think, of whether or not the William fucking Shatner story actually happened, or to what degree. Because Shatner says that never happened. I don't know what that was talking about.
To be a little fair on that, it's easy to misinterpret when you're a child anyways, what's going on around you.
Yeah.
B, Shatner has a tendency to downplay the things where he looks like an egomaniac that have happened in his career.
Yeah.
So I think the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I'm throwing out the pot, as an opening. Here's a tack, you might want to try. It's like, here, there next door, he's trying to shoot a movie. He's talking to somebody about something, and he hasn't got time, especially with the studio breathing down his neck, cutting the budget every time he turns around.
I gotta take a leak. Hang on, I'll be right back.
And he's dealing with some fanboy here in a uniform from next door, and it's like,
which is why I think it probably is true. He said something similar to that effect. But I'm not saying necessarily he was wrong for that reaction.
Yeah,
but. Do I think it happened? Yeah, actually, I kind of do. Not to the level either side has played it. I don't think it was as innocent as Shatner said. I don't think it was as egregious as Wheaton saw.
Yeah.
But Wheaton was a traumatized kid going through shit.
Yeah.
Of course, his reactions to shit are not going to be all there.
I mean, he's going next door expecting to meet Captain Kirk, and he's meeting Bill Shatner, overworked, very under pressure director in the middle of a damn job. I ain't got time to play friends. Okay, so I'm trying to get this shot in.
And that's why
apparently he got a very gracious note after Gene said, look, Billy Shatner's an ass. Let me talk to him.
Well, that's why I don't think it was that egregious, but I don't think it didn't happen at all like Shatner played it off for a long time either.
Yeah.
Because I don't see the note and the other apologies or the rest of it all happening then either. Hey, Fist, if it didn't happen at all, I don't think those things would have been true.
Yeah.
And so I think it's okay to acknowledge it probably did happen to some level, but probably not as bad as it seemed to a kid.
Yeah.
Because kids have a tendency to see things as much more egregious than they actually are.
Yeah.
Truth is usually somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. And the nature, going back to it, is you tend to play things up for the convention you're at, because you want to give the fans a good show and give them a good story to go home with. That's what I was thinking. Nichelle Nichols and Martin Luther King. That's like.
I was thinking of Wheaton at one of the shows because I watched the speech from one of the conventions years ago. It was when he was on the Guild and he's in his second popularity, and people were realizing, he kind of got the raw deal, and he's not as bad as everyone thought he was. Let's give him another chance. And he's speaking at this Star Trek convention, and he comes out to give his speech in a Use the Force Luke shirt and starts making jokes about starting fights between Star Wars and Star Trek fans.
Yeah.
You can't tell me he wasn't egging him on a little at that point.
Oh, yeah. No, when he was on Big Bang Theory, Bosley as himself, but their whole storyline is they're going to see The Force Awakens. And Wheaton shows up, full original series, Star Trek uniform, pointed ears and everything. The crowd's all booing him. He's just flat. Yeah.
I'm back.
So I absolutely do believe that through different points of his career, Wheaton has egged people on a bit because he liked making jokes out of the stereotypes of being the asshole that people threw at him.
Yeah.
He's like, if people are going to stereotype me as this, I might as well have some fucking fun with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well,
George Carlin's one of his heroes, so you know.
But when I saw, because I was very much into the Guild, and so when I saw the episodes with him, I started to go, okay, I can understand why he would become this way, all this. I get it. And I watched a bit. And then I started watching when he started doing things like Tabletop and stuff, and Will Wheaton Project with Sci-Fi Channel and those things. And it got interesting. And I watched, and I saw how things went, and I watched.
Yeah.
And oh dear God. I mean, Will Wheaton Project was basically him making every inappropriate joke about all the different sci-fi fandoms he could while actually having somebody doing a mock-up of Skeletor, trashing him and mocking him through the whole thing. And at one point in it, he's taking all these cheap shots at how horrible Sci-Fi Channel's movies are and how beatless they are and everything else. Yeah. All of a sudden, he looks at the camera and goes, the hand that feeds me tastes good. It's like, you can't tell me that wasn't poking the bear.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay, let's address Dustin's serial offering up here. Defiant and the Millennium Falcon.
Defiant. Oh.
I hate to say this, but the Falcon wouldn't stand a chance.
No.
The Falcon is a freighter. It may be hopped up, but the Defiant
is a warship.
Defiant class. You basically taking the firepower of a Galaxy-class starship and cramming it into something about the size of a Constitution-class hull. Highly maneuverable, and also it can fight at warp. You can't do that in hyperspace. Which means this thing is stuck sublight doing that. Meanwhile, the Defiant is zipping all around it and lobbing torpedoes every so often. It's like it wouldn't survive the first volley, okay?
No. It's like
and that's just firing them. You do the old thing about beaming a torpedo inside the ship, like which Voyager did one time to what joke, yeah.
Because I can get why the Millennium Falcon has the obsessive fan base, all that stuff, but the Defiant is literally supposed to be one of the greatest warships in the entire era of Star Trek. You cannot put that up against a fucking freighter ship and expect the freighter not to go boom.
No. The Falcon's got a lot of character, but that's about it, okay?
Falcon's beautiful. I love it to pieces, but it ain't going to survive against the Defiant.
No, it's a pickup truck, okay?
Yeah, it's basically a U-Haul box truck.
It's like, and yes, I love Star Trek. I love Star Wars. I am more a Trek fan than Star Wars fan, but let's be honest, I am very much both. And Bob knows this.
Yeah.
In fact, Bob, how much have we talked about how many books, novels, and comics I have of both downstairs?
Yeah. A not so small library.
I have to get rid of stuff in this house. I have such a fucking library downstairs, and between that and all my craft supplies, our house is kind of becoming a how do I put this nicely? There's not much space.
Space is at a premium.
Yeah.
Let me put you this way. This is a 3-bedroom house with one couple in it, and the entire basement is finished. And there's barely room to walk around between all my stuff and all his nerd shit. We're working on purging right now.
Senate, okay.
It kind of is, but
I'm already trying to put in plans in about a year or so when I can put in for my retirement, seeing about getting a house and get everything out of storage. Okay, that's it.
The thing for me is I don't want to give up my books.
You
can do whatever you want to me, but don't fuck with my books.
Yeah.
I've
lost too many books as it is. I don't think eviction purges, whatever.
Somewhere I have a gold-bound book that is short story versions of all the different Star Trek episodes of the original series.
Yeah, the Blish adaptations? Or?
I don't remember which adaptation it was. It literally, they wrote it to be like folktale story style, and they wrote short stories of all the different episodes, and then it's in a hardbound gold lace book. I just don't know where in the fucking house it is. If I can find it, I'll start reading those with my story times I'm recording to start posting too.
Yeah,
because those would be awesome, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and it sounds kind of like the James Blish adaptations.
I don't remember, but I'm not too worried. I like the fact that there's so many different versions of all of them.
Yeah.
Just like I have the Brothers Grimm stuff here, just like I have the leather-bound, suede one of the Lord of the Rings trilogy here, just like I have the complete works of Shakespeare here. I'm a nerd girl. I need my books.
Okay.
Ow, 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 ow.
Oh, I finally got
warm hardcore baby.
Well, then I need to get into actually sit down and read. No, that's not it. Here we are.
Wow. Wow.
Andrea Kindred, Andrew Kincaid, Richardson was last name at the time. This was secretary to Gene Coon, line producer of Star Trek for first half of the first season through most of the second season.
Now,
and based up and did her little story. And Star Trek is a big part of it, but not all of it.
I do not know if I will be streaming again for quite a while. Friday, I am heading over to my mom's. Basically, I have to get a shit ton of stuff done with my mom in a matter of a few weeks, because somewhere in the middle of me staying with mom, my husband's gonna have to come over and get me so we can get out to fucking California when they just get the date for the funeral.
Okay.
I don't want to go back to LA. Fucking hell, I hate LA.
I never got out to LA when I was when I was out there.
Now I lived in Riverside for a few years, and the station's empty. That was as close to LA in the long term as I want to be. Okay, it's it's over there. Okay.
I mean,
this
technically,
is the edge of reality. This is the edge of reality. You go into LA County, you're into La La Land. Okay.
I mean, technically, Riverside, Arcadia, and all those, you're still technically in the outskirts of LA proper. You're still in the city. You're just in the suburban part of it. Because it's all merged together. It's all one giant city from one side to the other.
Yeah, a bit of a megalopolis. It's like. Well, also, all those cities grew up separately. So that you cross thing, all the numbers change. Which out here, it's like they put a grid system on early on, so it's like the numbers are consistent. For middle of downtown all the way up, almost up to halfway to Golden. Up to you got to go to ways before the numbers actually change on the streets. But out there, it's like we just cross a border, a whole new numbering system. So you better know where you're going, because if you're going on the map, you're in trouble.
Yeah, well, I live in a city that isn't big enough to have as shitty of a road design as it does. So whoever designed the quadrants of Cedar Rapids was on some good ass drugs. That's all I have to say.
I don't know who the hell designed the interchange with I-25 and I-70. It's still screwed up. I mean, the way it was back in the 70s, like, oh my God. One, what were you smoking, and did you bring enough for everyone else?
I'm still going to tell you, I've never found any interchange that made me want to throttle somebody as bad as the Dallas one. I can't even understand how all these different lanes are all separated. You're going in bridges over this one and tunnels under this one and weaving around, and you can't change lanes. Once you're in a lane, you're set there for 10, 20 miles. It's like through the city, you can't change. Once you're in that lane, that's it. And you're going to that exit. Yeah. And it's like, the fuck drugs are you on?
Just be glad you don't have to drive on I-95. Oh my God.
Oh boy.
I-95, but the stretch of highway that runs through New Haven, I-95, has been named the worst stretch of interstate in the country by truck drivers.
No offense, but most of the interstates I travel, the truck drivers are the worst part of the interstate. So, sorry.
Well, I was on 995 when I had my accident.
I'm not sorry.
Florida.
It's fucking true, you dicks.
Yeah, it is true.
About halfway.
Who is it to train truckers to ride your fucking ass like this, to go really slow and stay in your lane until somebody tries to pass you and then try to hit them and run them off the road and all this other shit? Oh, I forgot. One of the main places in the country they train semi-drivers is fucking here. They're taught by Hawkeyes. Cedar Rapids Semi-Training is one of the largest semi-training centers in the world. They're teaching the semi-drivers here in Iowa. So you remember my hatred of Hawkeyes and how they drive?
Mm-hmm. My father used to say talk about chasing the bulldog's ass. You're gonna be a truck driver chasing the bulldog's ass. I'm like, well, Dad, actually, truck driver now is probably one of the more steady jobs. Oh man, my father had a lot of bad ideas though.
Yeah.
He wanted to start his own lottery.
Okay.
I was like, Dad, you can't start your own lottery. I'm gonna start my own lottery. I'm like, Dad, you can't. That's called running the numbers racket.
Yeah. Like, you really want to face RICO charges? Okay.
I'm gonna start my own Social Security. I'm like, Dad.
No, no. Because truth be told, you take away the government factor, it's a Ponzi scheme. Okay.
Well, he was just.
I know.
What did I do? He said oh yeah, we have to make a support beam for the basement. Like, now, after how many years of owning this house, now you think of that? So we spent about an hour, maybe an hour 20 minutes making this thing out of a big, huge, like,
And the house hasn't collapsed yet. I don't think you need a support beam.
Well, it's somebody else's problem now.
Yeah.
But afterwards, he's just like, we walk away from him like, that's it? You're just gonna walk away from it? I think he went to have dinner, and that was it. Okay.
People are weird. I swear, I don't understand them most of the time. But yes, so I will be traveling away next Friday morning. I will be busy most of this week getting myself ready to deal with that and help my mom out with shit. I'm not going to be around much until we're done dealing with the funeral, and they're still not sure if that's going to be the end of the month or sometime in May here with everything they have to get together for family in multiple states. So,
sorry, you have to go to that though.
Yeah.
I loved her to pieces. I don't like going there. Fucking LA. She didn't live in LA proper, at least. It's still fucking going to the outskirts of LA.
Whereabouts is she?
I'm not going into the details of where she was.
North, south. Yeah.
More of the eastern edge. That's about as far as you'll go.
Okay.
I will tell you, my husband was born in LA County.
Okay.
Yay, right?
Mm-hmm.
How the hell did the little mountain chick from South Dakota end up marrying an LA boy?
I don't know.
Seems weird.
Yeah.
Beat it.
Yeah,
Beat it good.
Yeah, kind of rescued him. I don't know.
I mean, I didn't meet him in Idaho, so.
Yeah.
I'd never seen the ocean until I was at 30, so.
I lived in New Haven all my life. I didn't see the ocean because it's blocked by Long Island. Hey, great.
Yeah, but I'm sure at some point you went somewhere where you could see oceanic water.
Oh yeah, Rhode Island.
I never saw oceanic water in my life till my 30s.
Rhode Island. When I was 18, we went to Disney World. And we stopped at Daytona Beach, and my ear is ringing. Ouch.
You eat penis.
Even in Daytona, you had to make an effort to get.
Do I get a side of fries with that?
See the beach. Yeah. Hold on. I'm getting yelled at here.
For God's sake. Yeah. Worst sunburn of my life. I was 18 years old. I could barely move. I was in such pain. So, and that was the last time I went to Florida. I have no hurry to go back. Which is I don't know. I actually no. I don't want to say it's sad because it's not sad because I genuinely hate Florida.
If it makes you feel better, I hate pretty much everywhere and everyone.
Okay.
Baby girl, get over here.
That.
Dumb cat. Hey, come here, you old girl. Come here. Come here. Oh, come here, Ornery.
Kitty, 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 kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty.
Hi.
Kitty, kitty, kitty.
Hi,
kitty. Hi, kitty.
Good girl.
I've always been a dog person, but I like kitties. I like all animals.
Ow. Ow.
That's my cat's going, and then you get one here. Okay. Okay. And now you got baby girl.
But yeah, everybody I know, everybody around here, everybody pretty much. If you're from Connecticut, it's almost mandatory. You have to make a pilgrimage to Florida. It's like their Israel. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm like, oh, and everybody has to try to move there at some point. And I'm like, that's where old people go.
I thought old people went to hell.
Yeah, and well, Florida is God's waiting room. Which is kind of the problem with the rehab centers, because they, that's the way they're not suited to actually rehab anybody. It's just waiting for them to die and get them to sign over their their checks, which didn't help in Steph's case because they didn't rehab her. There's trying to get her to sign over a check. Fuck me. Doesn't matter. I'm living in a fucking car in the middle of a Walmart parking lot with a cat. No. I'll just divorce him. Fuck you.
My brother Mark, Florida. I'm like, shut up with Florida, please.
Yeah.
I spent the last 2 years in Vegas. Are you amateur?
It's like the state of Florida tried to kill me. Fuck you. Okay.
Yeah.
Like that stretch on I-95. That stretch on I-95. Okay. Microburst came out and decided to play pinball with my car.
I would not rather be in Vegas over Florida. I'd rather fucking get dental work than go to either of them.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But still.
And I mean dental work with no number.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's pretty extreme.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have a dental drill to the fucking nipples than go to either, in fact.
I just hate Florida. Like I said, everybody acts like Florida says it's the promised land. I'm like, shut. And I'm sick of hearing it. I've been hearing my whole life how great Florida is. And it's just like, I'm not buying it.
Oh, now we got Panther.
Come here, boy.
Hey, buddy.
Wow.
It's like there are perks, but it's it's not.
You're not doing that right now.
What's he doing?
He looked at the girls and then started gyrating his hips and getting ready to jump.
Oh boy.
No, this is not a launching pad, asshole. Okay.
You do not need to get laid right now.
Mm-hmm. Especially not pulling that shit with that top. Okay. That could be a problem.
Hi, wise guys. And yeah, Fizz, I saw your story. Ow, ow, ow. So it's like, where do we, fuck. Wow.
Yeah, I think most animes in the high school setting is either going to be lots and lots of sex or lots and lots of fighting. And usually both.
Hey, I got into anime when I was high school age, and I loved all that and then.
Mm-hmm.
I just needed an alternative to what they were teaching in school, because I was just bored out of my mind by, whatever they were trying to drill into me. I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Okay, Panther. Are you going to be good now?
I never had a teacher say to me, hey, you listen, I notice you're not really liking the material. And, we have to teach it.
Yeah.
But you said you like James Bond. Have you ever heard of a guy named Robert Ludlum? Have you ever heard of
The Bourne Identity?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of
book, the original book? Fuck the movies.
Oh God, I didn't read. I read that book a number of years ago. That's excellent. That's excellent.
Panther, I love you.
Completely different. The first 20 minutes of the book, 20 minutes of the book, 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah,
is the same.
In fact, actually, with Richard Chamberlain having recently died, he was in the original movie of the
it's like a mini series.
So, if you guys can kind of tell, this is my little loving little lump. Why are you sticking your paw down my cleavage?
Because he's a little pervert too.
He's like, you won't let me go hump the girls. What else am I supposed to do?
No, that way back in Days of Our Lives, one guy, Drake Hoxton was the actor, but there's one character, and he just read the Bourne Identity type thing, but like they pitched this character idea to him. He's supposed to think he's Roman Brady, but it's actually something else. So hey, this sounds like the Bourne Identity. Well, actually, yeah.
Then they did actually one where they gender swapped. They had Gina, what's her name? Gina, the lady with the curly hair. Earth Girls Are Easy.
Oh,
Gina Davis.
Yeah.
Gina Davis. Yeah. I don't know why I blanked on her name.
I don't know.
They did one with her.
You're a hoe.
I don't know. They did that one. Just kind of.
There's a spy who loses her memory.
Yeah, I know. They kind of.
Similar premise.
Yeah, her and Sam Jackson. I forget the title, but it's.
I kind of got into a whole thing with dealing with her acting for a while because, honestly, she was the woke warrior of the feminists in the 90s.
Yeah.
They were trying to give her 5 billion characters that were all big bad woman does man job.
Yeah, you ever try and watch Cutthroat Island?
No,
I couldn't get through 10 minutes of that thing. It was horrible.
And look, I don't have a problem with writing characters where it's a girl overcoming places where usually men are. For fuck's sakes, I went through carpentry. I was the only girl in shop. Can you imagine me going through that now that my tics have gotten worse? I mean,
the problem I had actually is anybody else watching Daredevil, the new Daredevil series?
I still need to. I'm downloading them. I'm just sort of stockpiling them right now.
Okay, well, then I don't want to spoil it for you. But they did bring on a CW level writer for this most recent episode. I'm like,
oh dear.
Yeah, and
so much for progress.
I'll just say the series overall is there's
not as bad as not as bad as when it was in She-Hulk, but
it's not as bad as She-Hulk, but it's not Daredevil.
Yeah.
I want to see Daredevil. I want to see a guy with the red costume and
it's not the Netflix Daredevil. Yeah.
No. He's supposed to be Batman with a cooler power set.
Yeah.
And a lot less money.
Because Daredevil
much less money than Bruce fucking Wayne. Let's put that shit.
Daredevil has been equated to say this is Marvel's answer to Batman.
Yeah. I want to. He doesn't do any Daredevil stuff.
Yeah.
He does actually this most recent thing. He actually did some Daredevil stuff. He ran his hand over a painting. To like, oh, okay, that's something Daredevil would do, like to sort of feel where the paint is to get a mental picture.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Guy with.
I've actually known some blind people who would do that so they could see art.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And actually, Daredevil.
Okay.
Daredevil's sonar power is supposed to be enough that he could, in some cases, be able to read the print on a page. It's supposed to be that finely tuned. They didn't have to go with Braille. He could actually get a newspaper and for the most part, be able to read it.
Panther, you're making me go now. Are you gonna be good boy? Are you gonna be good boy?
No, I'm not gonna be good boy.
No, you cannot go hump the girls right now.
I feel like Frank Miller says, this is the only superhero known by his weakness.
You cannot go hump the girls right now.
Me humps.
You just give me this look like, why not?
It's my job.
I want to.
It is my destiny.
I know you like humping a lot.
Yes, I do. I love it. I love it so much. I love it. Oh, I want to hump.
Good day, my boy.
You're my boy cat, and I want to hump. And you, and they're right there.
You big old meanie, they're right there.
Quit gyrating your hips. I said no.
But no, it's like, Batman, because he got the gadgets in the tour. Superman, he can fly. But Daredevil, he's blind.
Daredevil on Disney Plus is a horrifying abomination that ruins seasons of character development from the Netflix Daredevil.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Original
Fairy. Yeah, Karen Page is toast. She's got it's Fluggy that gets killed. Okay. What?
Okay. Panther, no, not right now.
And I said that when I was in Chris Gore's chat when they were talking about the show. Oh, well, this is so great, so great. And I just responded with the thing, and they actually put my chat message up on the screen. It says killing Foggy Nelson in the first 5 minutes is such a rookie move.
Yeah.
You just break any tension you might have had.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, it's not. Well, it's because they're building towards something else. I'm like,
we also kind of lose a lot, because Foggy is kind of the one that kept Matt grounded. Okay.
Yeah. You reintroduced these characters from the first series, from the Netflix series, and that's it.
And you promptly killed them. That's
Yeah.
I mean,
it's part of that, subverting expectations. No, you're subverting your own storytelling possibilities. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe they only had him contracted for one episode. I don't know.
That's that's all I can think of. Certainly not signed to a deal for multiple. Died after one scene.
Let's just face the fact that there's nothing left in creativity with these dumb fucks anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're sitting there going, "How can we fuck up another franchise?"
Mm-hmm.
Apparently Vincent D'Onofrio, dropped the thing that his Kingpin is legally prohibited from appearing in anything else. He can't show up in the movie. He's not allowed to. What?
Nice try. I told you not now. I told you no.
But
I think the Marvel Studios needs a serious root canal. I mean, beyond an enema, he needs a full-on root canal. Okay, we need to get rid of everybody here and just bring back some folks who know what they're doing, but the rest of y'all out. And yes, I would include Feige in that. I think he's outlived his usefulness.
Yeah, Kevin Feige's not the wunderkind that.
Yeah.
Can I just point out, it annoyed the hell out of me how many people in our community acted like he was.
I bought it.
He seemed to be. He's the one guy who knew what the hell he was doing in this whole mess. But it's like, I can't.
There was so much stupid shit he said. He just tried to hide it under a few intelligent lines.
Yeah.
I can't believe all of you fell for it. What are you?
I'll admit I fell for it. And, Jon Favreau probably was the real guy behind everything.
Yeah. And the thing is with Favreau, it's like that one worked mostly because him and Robert Downey Jr. were looking at the original script for Iron Man really was kind of stupid apparently. So a lot of that is really improv and ad-libbed. And Downey made the comment to Favreau, how about we make one that's good for a change? So a lot of the storylines follow the storyline, but most of it, fuck the script. It's like same thing with Smokey and the Bandit. Really, it's like the script itself sucks, but they like the story.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's what Sally Field enjoyed. Now, don't worry about the script. We're not following the script, but just when you want to play the part, the power of Burt Reynolds for a while because he really wants you for this.
I love Jerry Reed's great in that though.
Oh God, he apparently wrote I don't know what tune it was, but it's like they pitched an idea and he came back with a song in about 5 minutes. So, okay, he's on board.
That's Jerry Reed was a professional.
Yeah.
That's you're not.
Did you ever see the movie Gator?
Yes, I haven't seen it in ages, but yes,
evil motherfucker in that one. Where he's just staring down some guy, got the gun on him, and the guy at the desk, the gun within reach. Like, go ahead. You might just make it. It's like, just cold-blooded. It's like,
Jerry Reed. Jerry Reed was a cool guy.
Yeah.
I have to go pick up a load of manure. Ooh, shitty job.
Yeah. I mean, and his moment of glory towards the end is Smokey and the Bandit, where the cops everywhere, helicopter everywhere. Son, we're not going to make it. Oh, hey, wait. Don't you? What do you mean we're not going to make it? It's like, look, they don't even know the snow exists. They only have to mean that. Oh, they don't, do they? Well then, let's introduce the boy. You'll step aside because the snowman is coming through. And that big old rig goes, well, son, bitch, we're gonna make it.
Hot damn, we're gonna make it. We're in trouble. Yeah. I know we're in trouble. We're in trouble. I know we're in trouble.
We need a ride.
Now it just has me wondering if you can get from Atlanta to Boston in 18 hours.
I don't know. Well,
depends how fast you go. Not in that Cadillac. How many fuel stops you got to make for that in that Cadillac?
Oh God, I-95. I don't know. I might get a head start because no one's looking for the Cadillac. They'll be swarming around that Trans Am and that semi. John Schneider did kind of a remake of it called Stand on It.
Okay.
Where the premise is this time instead of Coors, it's marijuana.
Oh, okay. Well, that works.
But it's also a lot of break the third way. Yeah, we open reference. We're remoking Smoking the Bandit. Okay. Because they did in the first movie.
How much do you think Coors beer had to pay to get that beer into the movie?
I don't know. Placement? Well,
because I had never heard of Coors beer up until then.
Well, back then, yeah, it was a case. You take it east of Mississippi, it's bootlegging. That was the actual case.
Yeah.
But I suspect the actual thing was just empty boxes. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because you never saw a can of Coors outside, even when they were in Texarkana.
My brother's father-in-law used to say, what makes Coors taste so good? What? Cow pee? Cow pee? What are you talking about? No, the cows, they graze in the field and they pee and it goes into the street.
No, there's a reason why the brewery is right at Clear Creek. Okay. They're right up there. No one else has gotten to that water yet, so it's coming right in there. One thing I'm disappointed is, and now you have to pay for the Coors tour. It's no longer free. That was one of the because when it was free, I went on things so damn many times. God, I could do the tour myself. Okay, I think Cypher PK's finally done his thing. So hopefully that's enough time to finally get that emote. All right.
Oh God.
But now so we gotta make reservations. It was like $20. 10 if you're going straight to the lounge. Yeah.
Reservations now?
Yeah, you gotta call and make reservations, and then because again, I was joking around with my buddy Sinead. Scotland. I'm concerned about if you ever come over here. I'm concerned about taking you on the Coors tour. She's such a nut.
I imagine you could make reservations online too.
Yeah. Oh, you have to pretty much. Yeah. But she's now fuck that. Paid them enough times. I didn't know they had Coors in Scotland. Okay.
Oh yeah. Younger kids love to drink Bud Light. Yeah, because it's American. Budweiser, Bud Light.
I peed darker than Bud.
Yeah, I didn't say it was. I didn't say they were right to do so.
That's the thing. Like whatever about the Anheuser-Busch tour up on Fort Collins. Because the Coors tour, halfway through, you get like a little, like say 6-ounce cup of beer. Halfway through the regular Coors or Coors Light, and continue on the tour, and then you get to the end, and you get your 3 like 10, 12-ounce glasses of beer. Although soft drinks, you can drink as much as you want.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care. But beer's like 3 glasses total of whatever they have on tap or in bottles there. The Anheuser-Busch thing, you get 1 Dixie cup of Budweiser. That's it.
When I was in Denmark, they on the Carlsberg Brewery tour.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, they have their own version of the Clydesdales too,
Oh, okay.
which is actually really cool.
All right.
Yeah, everything's painted green and white because of
Mm-hmm.
Carlsberg.
Yeah.
But they gave you two tickets to redeem at the restaurant for 2 beers.
Okay.
Which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah.
It was, and the presentation was made of film from maybe back in the 50s and 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, there was a lot of work that went into making beer.
Yeah. Well, I just dug up some videos made by the city of Golden. About 4 or 5 different videos of the tour. Basically, talks about the different things. And the Coors Brewery is the largest freestanding brew room in the world.
Okay.
Still is after all these years.
Apparently, from what they told us on the tour, I don't know if it's.
Mm-hmm. I think we lost you.
I'm here.
No.
And it was so consistent that they used to sell the breweries.
Yeah, we lost part of it there.
Yeah, the Carlsberg Brewery, they would cultivate their own yeast. They would grow their own yeast, but it was good. It was very consistent. It was good enough that they used to sell it to other breweries.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Senate, let's look at it this way. I'm in my 40s and I still gag if I smell somebody who has beer.
Okay.
I grew up downwind of the Coors Brewery. Okay. So and get used to it.
Off myself. Yeah. That smell is the most disgusting smell.
You can tell if they're brewing something or they're cleaning out the tanks. Okay. It's like, they're hosing things out now.
I would have fucking offed myself, okay?
Those guys used to have to climb inside the big oak casks and clean those by hand. I can't imagine.
I know.
We also occasionally would catch the
I cannot be around that smell.
We're also do stuff
dealt with literally dealing with poaching sites and gutting carcasses and shit.
Yeah.
And I would rather deal with that than the fucking smell of beer.
Yeah, we're also just a couple miles south of the Jolly Rancher plant when it was out here.
Jolly Rancher.
Cool. So we could tell what flavor they're making that day, Then Hershey bought it, shut it down. Now it's all fucking condos. But,
I hate condos. I really I shouldn't say that because I'm probably going to end up living in one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, back in the early 90s, the banks wrote all these loans around town for condos, and then the bottom fell out of the real estate market. And some of them are still unsold to this day. Just every single square foot of land that was available, they had to put condos. I'm like, and I just kept saying, who's going to buy these? It's right under power lines.
No.
Like, who's going to buy these? Oh, well, the market. No. There's a boom. It's good time. It's a good time to buy. I'm like, who's going to buy them? Who? And sure enough, like I said, the bottom fell out of the market and they sat empty. Some of them were boarded up, and some of them are still boarded up.
Now I'm hoping a couple of years when get my file for my retirement and things firm up a little bit, be able to get a house. Okay, that's it. Everything's coming out of storage.
How the hell did he fall asleep with his paw in my dress?
He's a cat. The cats can sleep anywhere.
Yeah, especially if he's got a paw in his dress.
Hey, Panther, my arm's numb. You're gonna have to move.
He's got a paw and a booby. He's content. Okay.
You're gonna have to move. My arm's numb.
Happy kitty.
Okay, I'll just go over there and hump with the girls. He's gonna go over there anyway. Might as well just get her over with.
Would you not jump on her the second you sit down?
A little bit of foreplay. Come on.
Bitch. I think that was me. I lost connection. There's a dead spot right over here. I gotta get a range extender. Because if I sit back and use my phone, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. But if it's right near where the laptop is, and I'm like, you bastards, you're no good bastards.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Wow. Roll over, bitch.
Well, I'll roll off the bed.
Do we actually have anything serious left to say, or are we just fucking bullshit?
I think we're just fucking bullshit at this point.
Okay, either there's super chats coming in, or we're ending the stream so we can be more inappropriate backstage. Because at this point, I've had the fucking week and a half from hell.
Yeah, links in there. If you're on her channel, also the links are also on mine because I just copied everything.
Oh,
so
I saw the Minecraft movie today. I watched the Minecraft movie today.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, listen. If you're, I watched. You know, I don't know. There is a not that I partook in it. Wink, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But there's a leaked copy online without the finished effects. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yo ho, yo ho. Pirate its life for me.
By the way, I've got the full special that we watched those clips from set up for us, Bob.
Okay.
Well, anyway,
chick.
I'll just say.
Go ahead.
I'll just say that if you're, yeah, I can see how the target audience would like this. With target audience was like 7 to 9 year old kids. Yeah, they're gonna annoy the hell out of their parents with this one. So.
Well, one complaint is, if that's your you don't have to treat everyone like they're 7.
I know what I annoyed my parents with as a kid.
What?
Rainbow Bright and Star Stealers.
Yeah.
And I like Stormy's tantrum in it. I liked Stormy. That tells you how much of a gothic kid I was. I didn't like Rainbow Bright and the others. I liked Stormy. Oh, forget all the Sunshine Rainbow people there. She's riding lightning and throwing huge tantrums and throwing bolts out of her horse. I like her. There's a question to you, Rob. Look on the screen.
Oh. Let me see. Hold on.
Why did you see that?
Why did you see that? Minecraft. Well, listen. Minecraft. Do you hate yourself? Yes, but for different reasons.
Does that have anything to do with the relationship we don't talk about much?
All I did was point her in the direction of the Minecraft movie. I figured, well, I might as well watch it too.
You blame it on having to do it for the channel. You got to review it for the channel.
Blame it so I could talk about it with people.
Yeah.
We make enough jokes about people needing to Minecraft themselves. I guess the movie could be useful in that regards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's Jack Black's being Jack Black. Jason Momoa is just kind of Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
I'm already bored. Anyway, let's wind this down.
Okay, so click on the links down below. You get about 10 seconds to throw a super chat in us, but
10.
Otherwise, we'll catch you. Thank you.